All right, so we're back. So I said the first thing that I wanted to do is just go over some questions that were brought to my attention during the break. One of them was, what is the difference between breath of fire and hyperventilation? So when this person asked me about the hyperventilation aspect, I knew right away that they were doing breath of fire too fast for them, okay? Because hyperventilation would be like if you're doing all lung breath and you were like, that's hyperventilating, okay? When you go, this is why I told you slow and low, and slow to start with. And the moment people go too fast with breath of fire, more than what they're used to, it's like imagine sprinting and doing that more than you're used to. Right away your body be in shock, like what the heck are you doing? Breath of fire is the same. The moment you start breathing breath of fire too fast, you start getting dizzy and lightheaded. Also, you can notice and sensate if you're paying attention and looking for it. You can tell to some degree that your chest is going up and down. If it is, you're more toward that mode of hyperventilation. So make sure, that's why I told you, have hands here and really feel here and here is fine. Here shouldn't be moving much at all. A little bit's fine, but any more than that you don't want. So, but it's slow, 1, 2, 1, 2, or here 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And what will also eliminate that body overwhelm is to take that break and inhale, clear inhale, and then exhale. And then if you need to, just stop for a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. And I'm going to say this last little piece because it's going to be in relationship to any of these exercises. When we're doing these exercises, again, Qigong is phenomenal in so many ways, but too much, too fast of anything can disturb your system. So when you're practicing Qigong, one thing you always want to do before and after is drink enough water, just like any other form of exercise. You ever start feeling lightheaded or dizzy and you're like, oh, I don't know why? Sit down. There's no reason to continue. Your body will relatively quickly catch up with itself, okay? But when you're practicing Qigong, you're moving blood, you're moving Qi, therefore you're moving that energy, you're sloshing around your hormone system. Initially, there's sludge that you're working through. You're working with your breath and you're trying to exhale out that toxin, and you're inhaling new energy, new air, etc. It's going to be a process. In moments you'll feel great, in other moments you feel a little discombobulated, so very simply take care of yourself. Anytime you need to sit down, anytime you need to go get a drink of water. It's not about, if I give you, which I am today, I'm giving you this set of 9 exercises. I designed this very specifically so that they can be done in progression, which is exactly how we're going to do them today. Do you have to do all 9? No. Can you stop at 3? Yes. Can you mix some of these? Yes, but mixing them would take a little bit better understanding, which I'll share some of with you. These two go good together, so on. But can they all be done together? Yes, but if you get to number 4 and you're like, man, I feel wiped out, then we're going to show you what to do with it. And this is your answer. You're going to do a waterfall. You're either going to sit down if you can't handle it, or you're going to do number 3, which is called a waterfall, and we're going to start with it because it's the #1 exercise that I'm trying to teach all around the whole world. Here it is. You're going to take the backs of your hands, and you're going to exhale your breath like we did earlier through your mouth. You're going to go up toward the heavens. This one is also sometimes called pulling down the heavens. You inhale here through the nose, slowly exhaling through the mouth as your hands come down. Or, guys, you could just leave your breath alone. Just let your breath alone and just move about this speed, about this cadence. Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry. Exhale. Inhale coming up. Exhale coming down. Inhale, coming up. So you can either visualize pulling down the sky, which is the reference to pulling down the heavens. Or you can image like a waterfall coming up here. The water running over your body, washing away all that debris. Exhale. Make a little bit of an ah sound as you're coming down with this exhale. Good. Now start rubbing your hands together. This is actually our first exercise, and I showed it to you earlier. It's number 1 on our chart here. We'll see if this is going to stay for us, or how long it's going to stay. Haha. So, this one, rubbing hands together, just gently, easy. This is something great to do on the airplane too, like, and then just kind of massaging your palms. There's a saying within energy work and so on that says, wherever you place your attention, the energy is going to flow there. The heart meridian runs down to the hands, down to the wrists, down to the hands. It's one thing that's going on when you're rubbing your hands together. You're actually working with heart energy. We're going to rub those hands together. First place we're going to do is same place we did earlier, lower dantian. When we're standing, I want to go feet about shoulder width. I want to tuck my pelvis slightly forward. A lot of people, when they practice Qigong, they first start, they tend to stick their butt out without realizing they are. You want to tuck your pelvis slightly forward, but I also don't want to be like arching back. So I want to be right there in the middle. My chin is tucked slightly down. My gaze is slightly down in this case. And to begin with, I recommend eyes open and just gazing. And as you get better at this practice, which by the way is called standing tree meditation, because we're standing doing this, which is our exercise number 2. So we're actually doing 1 and 2 here together. Now the trick, one of the things that you want to try and do as we stand here for just 2-3 minutes, is to relax your body as much as possible while continuing to stand. Again, if you get lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous, etc., stop doing it and go sit down for a minute. This is a very potent practice, more than most people realize. While you're standing here, very important key ingredient, make sure your knees are bent slightly. Otherwise, you're going to cut off your blood circulation and you're going to get lightheaded much more quickly. Inhale, exhale. Let your hands come to the side and just kind of pound your feet on the ground a little bit, march them a little bit. This is just to free up the circulation. This also is a form of tapping on the ground. Tapping in Chinese is called Daoyin. And you're actually pounding on the ground a little bit, opening up the energy in the feet. So in the first one we did healing hands, we did it inside. We also put the healing hands up on our thymus gland. In this one though, we took it into standing tree meditation and we put the hands on the lower dantian. We started with the exercise waterfall. We're going to come back to it right now. We're going to step out to the sides. We're going to go here and we're going to inhale and we're going to exhale. We're going to make this SH sound a light sound like this. This SH sound is very good for cleansing the liver. We want to sink a little bit there. Let's pause here for a moment. So this particular stance that we're working with, it's a little bit like you're sitting on a horse, okay? A little bit, horse stance we call it. So open up your armpits a little bit. This is actually a standing Wuji posture, but I'm just sticking this in here for a minute because I want to talk about the aspect of grounding, which is very important when you're practicing your Qigong. A lot of times when we're practicing this waterfall, we can really get carried away with this part of the exercise where we're like up here and we're reaching up. It's very important when you're finishing with that exhale, you're bringing yourself down. And so when we're just even standing here, practicing just the stance portion of it, okay, it's important to feel yourself kind of like falling toward the ground, so to speak, but then your legs are holding you up. You're relaxing your thighs as much as you can, but you also have to have some contraction or you're going to fall over. So you're looking for that sweet spot. And depending on how tired your legs are or how weak your legs are, etc., when you're doing this, it may take 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, but your legs will start shaking. It's good for you whenever that starts to happen. But we want to keep a certain degree of awareness toward the ground. That's what grounding means. So when we practice Qigong, we practice Tai Chi, we're going to do just a little bit of a shifting of weight. I want you to shift most of your weight to your left side. And stay there, heavy toward the left side. And then shift your weight over and stay heavy toward the right side. By the way, this is very good for building bone density. You want a bone density building exercise. By leaning to one side, you're putting most of your weight to that side. That's like lifting weights for your legs. So it immediately, over a month of practice, let's say, maybe not immediately, but starts building that bone density. Shift over to the other side. And again, I'm showing you this primarily to understand this idea of grounding and being rooted to the ground. So when we come back to center, it's not about how deep you can go. Some people can't go very deep. The closer my feet are under the shoulders, the easier it's going to be. The wider I go, the harder it's going to be. And then the deeper I go, the harder it's going to be. Find the sweet spot for you, but make sure in your practice you have some degree of this sink and this feeling of, again, falling, but your legs are holding you up. This, go ahead and check it. Roll your shoulders like this. Shoulders, upper body should be relaxed. Lower body is working. You make it work. Over time, your legs, your hips, everything starts getting stronger. This here, lift like this, and then go like that. That's a way that you know. It tells your shoulders, relax, let go, relax. All right? And then just anytime your legs are tightening up and cramping or any of that kind of stuff, just come out for a minute and march your legs and your feet, get the blood moving again, the circulation moving, and then come right back to your stance. In this next one, this is one out of the 8 Brocades series. It's a particular set that a general created in like 1630 or something like that. Anyway, I have that one online. You can go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's the 8 Brocades set. This is one of the exercises from the 8 Brocades. It's called Uplifting the Sky. From here, you're going to go down with your hands. The first part of the exercise, I want you to get this pulling, like you're pulling from the earth. This pulling. So this is an exercise in and of itself, right here. Doesn't exactly have a name, but we could call it like bathing the lower dantian, because that's really what it's about. Just bathe the lower dantian right there. Pull. I want you to have that sensation of pulling from the ground. Pull from the ground. Pull from the ground. So the very first part of this exercise, uplifting the sky, is a pull from the ground. And then about here, you interlace the fingers. We're going to keep that sensation as if we're pulling from the ground. We're going to start turning our hands over. Be careful of fingers and wrists or whatever might be bothering your shoulders. You're going to reach up and you're going to press. We're going to release as we come down. We're going to try this time and inhale as we're pulling from the ground. We're going to press toward the sky. Exhale. Release. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Exhale. And we're going to stay right here for a moment. As I said, some people refer to Qigong as a form of Chinese yoga. And in ancient times, even in current times, many martial arts practitioners also practice Qigong and vice versa. So like today, my shoulders are very stiff from practicing martial art. They don't really want to go back further than this. So you want to get to wherever you are, like let's say I was here. I want to start breathing in and out through my nose and then mouth. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and little by little working them back and working to get them upright. Inhale, exhale from right here. And then on the next exhale, we're going to inhale. On the exhale, release. Coming down, inhale. Exhale, press. Now, tighten the buttocks. Hold it tight. Don't lean too far. Keep the buttocks tight. Lean to a side. Keep the butt tight, otherwise it'll bother your lower back. Reach back the other way. Now we're going to keep the hands here. And if that's about how flexible you are, remember, it's not how far you can go down, it's about whether you can get back up or not. So wherever your ability to reach is at the moment, like normally on a good day, I can touch the ground. I'm a couple inches off right now. So I'm just going to breathe into that. In and out. Release the fingers, like roll the hands over, release the fingers, reach in whatever way is comfortable, reaching toward the ground. Again, be careful. Just go to where you feel slight tension, and then you want to breathe into the tension wherever you feel that. Now, I recommend coming up out of this position, especially those of you that are post 50. Bend your knees like that. Put your hands on your knees and use your legs and your arms to start standing up rather than just using your lower back. Go right here. This is our waterfall. We're going to put that in there in the middle of this. Exhale. We're going to make a little sound here with this like a WHO, but exaggerated, as opposed to a who, like a ho. Let's even just call it HO. And then march. Again, why is marching important? Many reasons. Circulation, but one of the most important ones is grounding, getting grounded and making sure you're aware of your feet and you're paying attention to your feet and your legs, okay? Because there's two very important principles in Qigong practice. One is this idea of like gathering energy. Could think of that as like becoming of higher vibration, higher energy. But in becoming higher energy, you had better stay grounded. Because the moment you're not anchored and you're not grounded, you're getting loopy. Start getting wonky. So this is very good for circulation, but it's also very good for grounding in the middle of some of our Qigong practices. This next one here, we call gentle drum. If you've ever seen these little drums from Asia, a lot of times it swivels, and the little balls, like you try and hit the drum one side and the other side, it's like that. So we're gonna close our fists lightly. We're swinging, I'm gonna show it to you this way first. We're swinging, where we're gonna swing one way, and that is going to tap back here somewhere, right around the lower back typically. Don't like hit yourself, but just lightly tap. Meanwhile, you're tapping like roughly in this shoulder area. Can also use an open hand. So we're swinging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like this, side to side. And we can do this flat-footed, or we can raise up our heel off the floor. There's actually few different ways to do it. Swinging, good. And we're going to get this one going for a little bit. This is a fantastic, I love this practice. It's a fantastic practice for warming up. It's a fantastic practice for circulation. And it's not just like doing this like to get ready for golf and just moving our upper body or something. It's about opening up the spine and subtly moving that energy. And the golfers, I got a couple of them that I've taught, and they've done amazingly well with golf. But they've learned that it's not just physically swinging the body, it's being more light, more Tai Chi-like, more fluid. Rather than big movements of the musculature, trying to really feel your spine. And like when I turn that way, I get a little bit of a stretch. And when I turn that way, I get a little bit of a stretch. Every once in a while, inhale, exhale your breath. So the next thing I'm going to show you is pretty cool. I like it. I think you'll like it as well. We're going to go from movement to becoming still. And we're going to go from movement right to standing tree meditation. So you're going from this winding business where you're winding, you're winding, you're winding, and then you're going to stop. Right there, roughly, this is your standing tree meditation. I want to take my mind, my attention, and place it at my feet. And then I'm attempting to hold myself there at my feet. My lower dantian here, but also extending down into the feet. Relaxing the upper body as much as possible. All the while holding yourself up, trying to stay stable. Notice when your mind is going up into your head, I want you to go back and think about your feet. Because if you get too spacey and too lightheaded, it's not going to be good for you. So, focus on your feet. And the stronger the energy gets, the more you have to focus on your feet. In more advanced trainings of this, we won't be doing that this weekend. We don't even do it at our seminars on the weekends. But I've done this type of training where we're doing this for 4 hours. 4 hours. In order to be able to do it for 5 minutes past anything you've ever been able to do before, you have to keep focused on your feet and the ground. Otherwise, you get loopy, you get nauseous, you have to sit down, etc., etc. Good job. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Inhale, exhale. March your feet. Go ahead and take your hands, tap right back here. You can close your fists lightly, and then you're just going to tap around the sacrum area and around the back there. Again, any tapping that we do with this Chinese medicine practices is called Daoyin. It's not on the board, but we often use this in between other exercises. Why? Because when you're practicing, you feel that stiffness coming to the surface. That is what we call blood qi stagnation. The blood in the qi is not moving. So we're doing this practice to keep it moving through the channels, through the musculature, keep the blood moving. We're going to tap on the outsides of the legs. We're going to go all the way down. We're going to come up the inside. We're going to go down the outside. Up the inside, down the outside. And then we're going to do like a patty cake right here. Good. Now, go ahead and go like this, just kind of shaking and vibrating the arms here. I'm just going to do another filler real quick because I feel like it. We're going to go here. And just go like this. Just to get some of that stagnation. Like I said, my shoulders are super stiff today from probably too much martial art training this week, so I've got to clear it up. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can keep teaching you all, you know, I got to keep going. So I'll give you an extra exercise. This one. Boom. Boom, boom. Now this next exercise, we're going to go ahead and get to our horse stance. We're going to take the hand, put one hand out in front of you, doesn't matter which one. We'll eventually have both of them out there. Actually, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Let me go back. Number 6, we'll get to that. That's number 7. We'll get back to it in a second. Number 6, I want to show you real quick. So from here, go ahead and just raise your hands. Later we'll be doing this as a set. This one will make more sense when we're doing it later, but you'll even feel it now. The moment you go like this, it's telling the energy to climb your spine. Be careful of how and when you do this. Even right now, if you're starting to do it and it feels like too much, lower your hands right away. But this is going to amplify the energy that we've already been working with, and it's going to feel stiff in the shoulders and different things, and that's totally fine. Just feel that for a moment and let it do what it's doing, right? Try and breathe into it. Breathe into the stiffness that you may feel in your shoulders, etc. Just find that breath. And then what you're going to do, whatever's comfortable, let me show you before you do it. You guys stay just like that. Just watch me. If you have any shoulder issues or you're concerned, just go very slow and then just touch your legs. For those of you that feel like your shoulders are pretty healthy and so on, you can actually do this version where you drop. I like to call it drop and pop because you're popping your legs. When we do that, we're going to do another round of it. When we do it, feel what the energy does when we raise up, and then feel what happens when you drop the hands and let it slap, and then just what that energy does. And again, when we go through this set later where we do them all in a row, and then we get to number 6 and you go to enhanced standing tree meditation, you're going to be calling up all that energy that you have already been working with, and then you're amplifying it. So you're all of a sudden going to start feeling like you're getting high. So you want to be careful how long you do it. The moment you feel anything weird, the hands come down. And then if you needed to, you would sit down. It really, most of the time you don't need to. It's just in a rare instance that you would have to sit down. So we're just going to do this one more time. Just from here, we're just going to raise up. This is what enhanced standing tree meditation is. Again, with any of these practices, guys, you have to focus on your feet and your legs. Otherwise, you're up in your head without realizing it, and you're going to get saucy really quick. Inhale, exhale, let the hands drop. Stay there for a moment just like that. This is standing tree meditation, where you're just standing and gazing and you're just being very still. People will ask me all the time, what should I be thinking about? The answer is nothing, but good luck trying. That's a pun. You can laugh about it. But you honestly want to try and get in that state where you're just being like a tree. So if some of you are already there, stay in that state. But while you're in that state of what they sometimes call in Zen, no mind, make sure your attention is on your feet. Inhale here. This is our waterfall. Exhale. Pull from the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Pull from the ground. Exhale. You'll notice with waterfall, it can come at the beginning, it can come at the end, and it's a filler exercise. Go ahead and put one hand out in front of you. You're going to pull back all 4 fingers with the thumb being left out. You're now going to take your thumb and go over the first 2 fingers so that it's on the outside. Not putting your thumb inside or any of that kind of business. So thumbs on the outside. That's a fist. Now I'm going to teach you martial art, but not its cousin, Qigong. But this could be related to martial art. The other hand is going to do the same thing. Fingers, close. Thumb, close. You now have 2 fists. You're going to come down. The moment people think they're punching, I see this a lot. Like, don't bring up your shoulders, relax your shoulders, drop them, and just hold your hands out like they're being held by puppet strings right there. Go ahead and open the hands like this. Inhale, and as you inhale through the nose, you're going to close those fists, bring them back, and you're going to hold the breath to the best of your ability. You're going to hold it down here in your belly. Okay? Then let's just start again, because there's going to be a second part, but I want to show you the first part first. So we inhale. And you're holding your breath right there. Hold it in your lower belly. And for now, just let it out. Just let it out. In a moment, I'm going to show you the second half. Here's the first half. Here, close, inhale, slow breath. Hold it in your lower belly because the chi charges that battery. Exhale. Good. This one, march for just a sec there. This one is called ha, ho. These are the sounds that you're making. You're going to make the sound ha and ho. The ha sound is going to literally have a punch to it. We're going to be punching. But, yes and no. But when we punch, I want you very relaxed shoulders. You're not really punching, like you're trying to knock somebody out. But it's the punching motion. What's most important is going to be the sound. So watch me do it one time, and then I'll get you the other couple parts. So I'm here. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to hold my breath. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ha, ho. That's right. So the ha. I told you earlier, we hold our breath. These sounds, which are martial in nature, one of the best things about martial art, that type of martial art where they make sound like that, is the fact that they make sound like that. It heals the gut. It's also very empowering. Now the ha has a yang quality to it. It has an edge, which you just saw. The ho made you all smile. Everybody smiled. Everybody was like, I went ha, you went, and you went ho, yeah, right? I went ha, and you ho. But as soon as I went ho, everybody smiled. That's the exact idea of the exercise. It's like you're releasing anger for a moment. There's some intensity, but again, don't tighten up. Just let it flow out your arms, flow from your body. It's very good for the liver, amongst other things. Once you let it out, then we're going to dissipate it. Oh, and it relaxes the whole body. So on the first one, not too tense, and then have fun with the second part, ho. So here we go, together. We're going to inhale. We're going to hold 2, 3, 4. We go ha, ho. We're going to inhale. Slow and low, we're going to hold 2, 3, 4. We go ha, ho. Inhale. Hold the breath in the lower belly. 2, 3, 4. Ha, ho. When you're ready, inhale. Hold 2, 3, 4. Ha, ho. Inhale. Holding in the lower belly. 2, 3, 4. Ha, ho. Also, another little detail, I don't want to give you too many pieces, but now maybe you're ready to integrate it. When you inhale, you can actually come up a little higher. I'm like kind of up. When I go ha, I sink. It's very important to sink on the ha. So even if we just did this for a second, stand tall, go low by going ha, 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 ha. That's what you're trying to dial in. I could feel you guys felt it on that one. So when you sink, you make the ha, and you extend the arms at the same time. You can feel that through your whole body. So you're trying to have that in there. Again, I didn't say this earlier, but I've said it many times in teaching Qigong. Qigong is like juggling balls. Initially, you're just trying to juggle 2. But some of these exercises will require that you juggle 4 or 5 balls. Don't expect it in an exercise like that. Don't worry about it if you don't get it today, because, you know, that's why we come back and have a name that's been around for 5,000 years, uplifting the sky, because 5,000 years you can come back and practice it later. You don't have to get it all today. Anyway, so from here, not that 5,000 years you'll be doing it, but maybe next week you will be. Anyway, from here, inhale. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Sink. Ha. Ho. Inhale, and you can come up. You sink on the ha. Ho. Inhale. Now some of you are leaning forward. I don't want you to lean forward. Stay just like this and sink. Ha. Ho. 2, 3, 4. Ha. Ho. Inhale. One more. Ha. Ho. And then right here, go to a waterfall. Clear it all out. Exhale, SH sound. This next one is another one from the 8 brocades. I'm going to face this way to show it to you initially. Everybody loves this one for the most part. It's called drawing the bow or pulling the bow. It's like pulling a bow and arrow, but it's done a little bit different. Pulling a regular bow, my hand would be like this, and I'd be pulling the arrow string. It's like that, but we're going to do slightly different things with our hands. So, and also to set up, we're going to start with the right hand up in the air, waving, like, so to speak. From here, I'm reaching over with this hand, and I'm going to pull or draw the bowstring. We're going to just work on that part for a moment, because when we go from here, everybody make sure your waist is totally square. Do not move your waist. This is the wrong way. We're going to do it first. Square waist. This hand moves all by itself. Reach over here like you're pulling something. You're going to have no power. You should feel it in your body. It feels weird. If you pivot from the waist, you now have much more ability to pull. So if you turn your waist to come this direction, now we're going to grab the string here. With your left hand, for simple to just start, I want you to just push away as you pull here, and we're going to pull, and we're going to kind of square up our stance. Open up your chest, squeeze your back. A lot of times you'll see people like this or like this. You're trying as best you can to square up here like so. From here, this hand now, the pushing hand, is going to become the pulling hand. It's going to travel over here to the other side. It's going to be the left hand now that's pulling. Yes. And you're going to, this one is pulling now. Pull. This one's going to push. Eventually they're going to work together, but right now let's just look at it again. We're going to pull and we're going to push. Now the right hand is not going to just reach over here. We're going to move the body. And we're going to pull and we're going to push. And we're going to move from the waist, and the hands moving, and the hands moving, and the hands moving. And now the hand is here to pull. And from here, bring your other hand. And now we're going to try. Curl the 3 fingers down. The index finger's pointed to the sky. The thumb is pulled back. You're going to push away with that movement. Right hand now becomes the pull hand. We move this way. We're going to pull with the right hand, the left hand. We're going to try and pull 3 fingers down. If you can't get that part yet, don't worry about it, but if you can, give it a whirl. And then pull and push away. Now we're going to try and juggle the last ball, which is to make some sound. Again, if you can't, don't worry about it. We'll get it later. Come here, inhale. Here, you're going to make that SH sound. Shh. Here, inhale. Exhale. And you guys keep doing it like you are. Try not to get too confused, but I'm going to face the camera for one. So whichever hand you're using, inhale by coming across. Exhale, pushing away. Inhale, coming across. Inhale, coming across. Inhale, coming across. Exhale, pushing away. Good. Come to this waterfall here. Inhale. Exhale. Oh. I'm going to make like an ah sound here or an HA sound. Oh. 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 Almost done with the set. We'll take a little break. We'll do some tapping here. Just going to finish this up with this last exercise and a couple details on the exercise I just showed you before we move to the very last exercise of the set. Okay? So with Qigong, which on one level should be somewhat obvious, but you know, if you're brand new to it, then nothing's obvious. But as you start to practice Qigong, as you start to practice Tai Chi, you start, or martial art of certain kinds, you start to realize the emphasis on the synchronicity of breath and body movement. The reason that I've been able, for example, just using it as an example, to coach golfers who I've never played golf like ever, And I have these two guys who are like amazing golfers, winning championships and stuff. And I've like never even, other than my grandfather's backyard where he had made the mistake of having young boys with golf clubs and balls around, you know, we hit them over into some parking lots and stuff, but I've never been on a golf course and actually played and hit a ball. But what's amazing is that these guys like just got what I was saying to them about breath and movement and synchronicity and started winning high-level games. Because my point is that the Qigong practice, the martial art practice, the Tai Chi practice, it relates to any sport, anything that you do. It relates to getting out of bed. It relates to hitting things with a club, a bat, because there's only so many ways in which you can move and breathe, and there are ways to move and breathe with power, and there are ways to move without breath, which is how most people do it, and then there's no power in that. So not only is there not any physical power in your body, but when your power is being diminished, like you've lost the power in your body, you've lost the chi in your body. What else have you lost? The synchronicity of breath and movement, because that is where power comes from. So if I'm swinging a baseball bat and I were to try and inhale as I'm swinging my baseball bat and went, there's no power. If in martial arts someone were to punch me while I was inhaling, I would immediately fall to the ground and be sick to my stomach. If they're hitting me and right when they're going to hit me, I went, ha! They might even hurt their hand depending on how tough their body is. Because right away it protects my body, it makes my body very strong. If I were to do the ha sound and also ground myself at the same time and I were to go, ha! Makes my whole body strong very quickly. Abdomen, chest, arms, everything. We call it protective Wei Qi. So that's typically faster than we do Qigong. That looks more like martial art. But the breathing patterns are what's so important. So in this exercise, drawing the bow, it will take some time, in my opinion, to catch on to how to do that. Because when you're starting, you're coming with your hand and then you're like reaching without moving your hips. The real power, and I've given many demonstrations of this, maybe later I'll give one, we'll see, but from here, there's not a lot of strength in my arm. To pull someone from here, there's not a lot of strength. But I can leave my arm right here, right where it is, and move from my hips and it'll look like magic. That person's gonna come with me. So when we're practicing in Japanese martial arts, Aikido, one of my other martial arts, we say move from hara. Japanese call it hara. In Chinese, we call it lower dantian. So they'll say move from the dantian. The power is not this in the arm. This, there's no power in that. The power is actually when I move from my hips. When I go to the ground and I sink my weight, I bring my arm, I bring up, and I move from my hips. This is very, very powerful. So learning those mechanics to heal and strengthen your body for you guys is what it's about. I don't think you want to learn the martial art of it yet, but maybe you want to learn a little. Anyway, so you know, Gary gives you a hard time, you know, whatever. So when we're doing this, that one in particular, I'm going to come back to again later, but it's the inhaling is happening while we're pivoting the waist. The pulling and the pushing are happening simultaneously as we're transitioning the weight. The glare is coming. We're sinking our weight. And in this one, we're also adding that breath. This is the inhale. This is the shh. To begin with, I expect that you cannot do all of those. If you can, you're way ahead of most people. Initially, you shouldn't, so to speak, be able to do all of those. But the moment you start doing them, watch what it does to your body. So that's what I wanted to say about that one, okay? We're going to move on to this one, stand like a post. This one, it's one of the really old Qigong practices. We also have a slang name for it. It's called hugging the tree, which is appropriate because we may hug some trees later, Gary. So from here, this one is going to be here. And again, we're almost done. We'll finish with this one, have a little break. So First, just hover with the hands, just to get connected to the earth. Connected to the earth through your palms, connected to the earth through your feet. Now imagine you have puppet strings on your wrists. Drawing your wrists up, your elbows are hanging down. They're not being drawn up. So my elbows are not up here, my elbows are down here like this. Now from here, keep the elbows down. Start turning the hands. Take the 2 middle fingers, plug them together. Open this up a little bit, not this high, but about here. And now feet about a little wider than shoulder width. Bend the knees. Could be shoulder width or a little wider, whatever's comfortable. Now right here, you're trying to sink the shoulders, the elbows. You can even rock a little bit to begin with, sink them. This is this is one of the hardest practices I ever learned when I started. Why? Because right away I did it for like 10 seconds and it made my shoulders scream. Showed me how much tension I held in my shoulders. This is a different kind of yoga. You're trying to stand here and talk to that pain, discomfort, stress, and say, we could hold our arms here all day long. Relax, relax. It's not that difficult. Relax, relax. And let's go to a waterfall here. Inhale. Exhale. And let's tap it out. That's my first run through on standing like a post. Later we'll do it a little bit longer. Standing like a post, like I said, if you have tension in your shoulders and you hold stress in your body, I think it's one of the hardest practices that there is. And actually, before we quit, I want to just show you the other variations. So for those of you that are at home, those of you who are also practicing here today, who when I start doing that later for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it feels like too much. Instead of starting here, this is actually the traditional sort of one that you see done a lot in a lot of schools. But this is another version of the same thing. This is lower dantian. This is middle dantian. It's typically practiced with hands at middle dantian. If that gets too much today or any day, practice it lower dantian instead. Just practice here, okay? Bothers the shoulders, etc. All right, let's tap this out. Buttocks, hips, low back, legs, inside of legs, outside, fronts of calves here, on the other side of the calf. The shin is what I meant to say. Up. Like you have water on your hands, throw it to the ground. Without the breath, just lift your hands up. Slowly, about the speed I'm going here, bring the energy down. Focus on your feet, focus on your lower dantian. Go ahead and march it a little bit. Once you know you have feet, feel free to use them. Take a little break, use the restroom, get some water, whatever you want to do. And we'll back in a little bit for round 3.